Hello, one and all, and welcome to the Modular Media Mangacast, featuring the two fuckos who read a bunch of manga. Me, Boingo Writer, and...
Hi, it's Buster, the guy who came up with this idea.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be the grunt work, so I'm hosting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be kind of like one of those end-year, just kind of like retrospective-y, like, what did we get to? But focusing on the manga we read, because... boy, I read a fuck ton of manga.
Yeah, I'm starting to. I mainly started, we'll get into this more, but I mainly started reading one specific big manga, and then I kind of, branched off from there.
I mean, you've read two big specific manga this year.
Yeah, this year. Well, we'll get to them, but, I started this year, and then I kind of ended this year.
So do we want to... okay, so here's my question. We didn't actually plan how we were going to organize this. Do we want to go through just, the individual manga on our list and end with the big one, so we get through it?
We'll do the big one at the end.
And right before the big one at the end, I'll also give some honorable mentions. Buster will give some honorable mentions.
I was thinking we could start with honorable mentions.
Okay, we can start with honorable mentions. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
I'll go first because I only have two, and I think you have way more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the main two, these are series I have started but I have not finished. First one is Fire Punch by Tatsuki Fujimoto. I really like this. It's a bit edgy, at times unnecessarily so, I feel. But it's when it's good, it hits good, you know? It's it's kind of I'd best compare it to how do I put... so what if someone... it's very much a freshman work of Fujimoto, him starting to get his grips, what works, what doesn't. But it's still a really compelling story, and I see why he got a second Shonen Jump series after this. They did the producers, editors, they saw potential in this guy, and now he's the Chainsaw Man's so big, you know?
Was Fire Punch Shueisha?
Yeah, Fire Punch is Shueisha.
Okay. For people who are unaware, Shueisha is one of the major manga publishers in Japan. They are the ones that do... if it has Jump in the name of the magazine, they pretty much publish it.
Yeah, Shonen Jump Plus, Ultra Jump, those guys.
Yeah, and I think they also publish Japanese Playboy.
I haven't heard anything about that, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, Playboy in Japan is also a seinen manga magazine.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Fire Punch, it's it's a heavy story. I don't really recommend it to anyone, but there's a lot of good stuff in it if you're willing to look through the edge, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's bad in terms of edge. It's just because I've read a little bit of it. It's just more of
a lot.
It's you take the edgy concept and he always seems like the kind of writer who goes I want to take this to its most logical extreme.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, it's less of I want to be edgy, and it's just more of here's an edgy concept. How far will it go?
Yeah, how far can we take story of a man literally on fire? Which people call that weird, guys. No, that's actually super cool. Why are you guys freaking oh, this is so weird? I don't know.
Yeah, no, Shueisha does publish Playboy.
Yeah.
They publish a magazine called Weekly Playboy.
And then the second title, the big title, I have a extra honorable mention, but that's more of a plug for something I'm making. Skullman is the second big honorable mention. This is basically Shitaro Shinomori in the 70s this is infamous. Skullman's infamous for basically being the prep work for Kamen Rider 1971.
Mm-hmm.
The manga, so he made this manga one shot. Then in the early 90s, he went to an offer. Google his name. He went to this offer and was hey, let's flesh out Skullman into a full-on show, manga series. And we have the 1990 through 2001, May 2001 manga. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia information by Kazuhiko Shimamoto. And I really hope it gets reprinted because I'd love to own this physically. It's really darn good. It's some good Showa tokusatsu flavor content, and I highly recommend, especially if you if you're a tokusatsu fan and you got really into Kamen Rider Black Sun this year. Read Skullman. It's not as politically charged, but it has similar vibe.
Yeah, Japanese superheroes always I wouldn't say get a bad rap. They just always get overlooked.
Oh yeah, and the only specific aspects of them. It's either oh, it's darker than Power Rangers, or look at this goofy Spider-Man mech. You know, it's no one wants to go too in depth with. That's a big shame.
Also, it's also just a lot of people don't know the depth of Japanese superheroes in the comics. You know, they're in their manga because it's just It's Kamen Rider and Super Sentai and Ultraman.
Yeah.
Those are big guys. And
Yeah,
you tend to think of it as only a live action thing when you got what's the guy? There was one thing I really enjoyed. It was a Sinin. I can't remember it. Whatever.
Zetman?
Yes, Zetman.
Yeah, I have that on my list for next year. Definitely want to get to that. It's like 200 chapters, but I really looks so cool.
All right, time to get through my fucking long list of honorable mentions.
Oh yeah, also just basic like this was just a one-shot manga, but it's basically my manga of the year. Goodbye Eri. I have a video of it coming out soon. It's great. Yeah, that's it.
I got 6 things on my honorable mentions. So first one is Bijin Onna Joshu Takizawa-san. Or
any English translation?
No official major American translation, but there's a fan translation because I read a lot of fucking fan translations. They're good. And a lot of people who do fan translations do then go on to do translations. It's
I mean, like we use fan subs all the time for like I don't mind.
But the English title is The Greatest Lady Boss, Takizawa-san. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. I'm going to describe this, and you're going to hate it.
Okay.
It is about a boss in a lady boss in an office building who has really big boobs and is slightly clumsy. And that's kind of the premise for like a lot of the manga. It's just a fun little gag manga of like, look at this hot girl. She's slightly clumsy.
Did Elmo recommend you this?
No, because this is straight.
Okay.
Because our point of view character is a new hire underneath her, kind of like one of her subordinates. And he's a good dude. He tries his hardest. He's like nice, just a general all around good dude. And the manga is slowly about the gags and the cast of characters, but slowly about them starting to be more comfortable with each other and starting enjoying each other's presence and starting to like each other. And then now they're dating in the manga. And it's just a slow, you understand it. It's not like all of a sudden of like, oh wow, I see your boobs and I'm in love kind of thing. Yeah. They actually put the effort into showing them building a relationship.
It sounds fine. Not something like I would be into, but sounds a lot better than like other like slice of life series that kind of like sell themselves on like titties.
Oh yeah, no. Here's the thing. This sells itself on titties.
Yeah.
But it's like titties, like understandable titties. It's titties that you want to get to know.
Move on to the next one already.
Speaking of titties, you want to know. There has been a manga that I wouldn't say is like been a big thing, but there is a dedicated group of people who are enjoying it, and it's I can't remember its full title, but I got part of it right here. Imai Zuminchi. I know there's more to that, but basically the premise is this dude got kicked out of his house and is just living in an apartment that his like dad rents out for him. You know, he's last year of high school, that kind of thing. And 4 Gyaru gals, just start hanging out at his apartment because it's just like there's no supervision. It's just like it's a hangout spot. And then they slowly start to like each other, and basically the 4 of them kind of become a polyamorous couple, like a polyamorous quadruple. You know what I mean?
Is this considered quadrats, or am I
I don't know. But but here's the thing. There is a safe for work manga being published of it now, because originally it was a doujin hentai series. The surprising thing is this is actually very wholesome and heartfelt. It really shows like, why do these people care about each other? How do they care about each other? How do they interact with each other? And how, like, it shows why they care about each other.
Yeah. Honestly, like, just like, I'm sorry. I don't want to bring up. I was trying my hardest not to bring up this video because it kept running through my mind through these 2 recommendations. But I love how like it just the eye patch wolf joke of like, I will not defend the titty anime. I love how you're just like, nah, I'll just there's value to it. Like
there is value in titty anime. Sometimes titty anime is just escapist bullshit. It's just look at the tit, you know. Yeah. But this is like this is the writers going like, no. There's something behind the tit. If the characters aren't good and interesting and someone you want to see, why the fuck would you care about their tits?
100%.
You know, that's kind of the vibe with these 2 manga, and that's Here's the thing. Those are the degenerate picks. Those are the
I was about to
degens.
ask, are there any more?
No, now it's just like we got some the quote unquote trash. It's the ones that are like wrote stuff. In another world where baseball is war, a high school ace player will save a weak nation.
That's a lot.
So, it's a long title, yes. So basically,
I thought
it's a
people were
fantasy.
joking about that shit.
Oh no, it's hype as fuck because basically, isekai, fantasy world, all the gods were like, you know what? Fuck war. If you need to solve your problems, play a game of baseball.
That's kind
And
of
like,
epic.
yeah, and
It's just an eternal Sentai baseball episode.
And when this tiny nation keeps getting abused, keep getting sent to baseball games, and they can't win, so every time like their citizens gets put under slavery and all that kind of stuff. Oh no! Here's the thing. This is one of the isekai manga that's like, yo, fuck slavery.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just like I just took a twist. I mean, I figured it was like F slings are, but like also like that just like whoa, this got dark twist already.
Yeah. So basically, they send this ace baseball player from Japan to there to basically fix the nation and give them a baseball team and help them win.
So it's an isekai flavored sports movie.
Yeah. And like there's a lot of montages of this guy like teaching them how to play. The previous like captain of the team is this headstrong girl, and he goes like, yo, no, you're a good player. Here, let me teach you how to do this better. And they do, and like they have like they start to trust each other a lot, and then they fight like this one nation of just like bunny people who are like, yo, when we had to fight wars, we got fucking decimated because we were weak bunny people, so they just killed us and slaughtered us. But now that we fight with baseball, we're fast and athletic and we can run, we can just dominate everybody. So they're like taking revenge on everybody else because they can now. Yeah, but they're like assholes about it. And you go like, we understand why you're doing this, but like, that means you should have empathy and sympathy for others. And it's just like, oh, it's good.
Yeah.
So if you like baseball and you like sports manga and you want something like with a weird fantasy flavor, it's good.
I think I'll read some more traditional sports manga before I like jump into the show.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to be talking about some sports manga.
Yeah.
Now we're out of the trash and degen. Now we're just in like weirdo territory. Not weirdo. It's just other stuff I read. So Yomen o Nin start Henkyo Ryoshu sama.
English title?
I didn't grab it. The population of the frontier owner starts with 0. Basically, this is if Berserk had a good end.
You know what? I can vibe.
Because basically you have this big lunkhead, but ultimately kind of good-natured dude who like went to war for this country and like badass decimates everything. He is one of the best fighters they have. Giant ass sword, all this kind of thing. But he's ultimately a good-natured dude.
Yeah.
They win the war and they go like, okay, he's dangerous. We can't have him near everything because if he thinks if like the people love him so much that if he wants to become king, they would revolt. We need to send them away.
Oh, that's actually an interesting premise.
So he's good-natured. He doesn't think anything of it when they say like, "Oh, hey, we're going to give you a land, and we want you to be a lord, and we want you to develop it." So they send them out to basically Mongolia. It's just like the Russian steppe. It's just plains upon plains upon plains.
So basically, it's like guy beats the final boss and retires to become like a farmer.
More of a shepherd. They do farm, because there's no one there. But he runs into basically a native inhabitants of this like they're elves, but they're like their own version of elves. So they have like little horns that change color depending on the person they're talking to, whether they're like friend or foe.
Interesting.
So like this elf woman shows up next to the dude and goes like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing here?" "Oh, I'm supposed to be the lord here," and like a bunch of things. And the elf tribe goes like, "All right, dude, you will die if you don't have a tent and a couple sheep and all this other stuff. So we're just gonna help you out." And he's like, "Sweet, this is so nice, thank you." And he like integrates it within their community to an extent.
Sounds like very specific headcanon that got out of hand.
Oh yeah. Oh, it goes on and on. Like eventually they start saying they want to start building a community, they want to start building a town. So they send like flyers to a local town of like, hey, we need help. We need people who are willing to work and help. And the only people who come is a specific dog-like race who are like they are as intelligent as people and they can talk, but they have the bodies of dogs. So they can't do a lot of traditional jobs, right? But he just looks at these people and go like, yo, you guys are hype. Let's fucking work together. And so like some of the bigger dogs become soldiers and like protect the place. Some of the other dogs become like shepherds and keep an eye on the sheep. And like it's really kind of like, I wouldn't say it's diverse, but it's like it could be a little bit of a metaphor of like understanding handicapped people and disability and like working within their disability.
Yeah, like a message about unity.
Yeah. And it's ultimately the dude's just a swell guy. And this is one of those like fantasy manga subtypes that I kind of like, which is just, I don't want to tell a story about going into a dungeon and fighting. I want to tell a story of Harvest Moon. I want to build a town.
Yeah, like Animal Crossing, Harvest Moon, that's just like completely, like when you explain this, that's when.
Mm-hmm. But like, the dude's a big-ass monster, like big-ass monstery fucking giant dude. So if anything does show up that would hurt him, he just grabs his sword and goes like, all right, time to go fuck shit up. It's good. It's fun. It's a good slice of life stuff.
Yeah. Probably not something I'm like eager to read, but very interesting.
No. The next one is it tough being a friend?
Yes.
Okay, this manga is fucking wild. This is a straight up like parody comedy manga.
About what does it parody?
Okay, everything. Okay. So, our main character is a dude who ultimately wants to be the side character. He realizes he can't be the main character, but he can be the best friend to the main character, and he just wants to support the fuck out of him.
So, Krillin...
He wants to be Joey Wheeler. He wants to be Krillin. He wants to be Rock Lee. The dude who just helps and is just a nice dude. So he becomes friends with this one dude in his class, and he goes like, you're a manga pro tag. I can see this. You're fighting like weird evil. And like that dude has like the crew of magical girls around him, like the harem, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, I see it. I need to be the pervy dude to make all the girls to make all the girls like you. He's not pervy because he wants to be pervy. He is there so like to make the other guy look better.
I just get like second-handed sometimes, like just.
Oh yeah, no, that you're meant to.
Yeah.
And so all this kind of stuff kind of culminates until the person he thought was the main character dude is actually a girl and is cross-dressing because only a boy is supposed to fulfill this prophecy. And it's like, what? Okay,
I'm into this now.
Yeah. And see, here's the thing. She's madly in love with him.
Okay, I'm super into this now. Give me... I want to read this.
And she's like, hey, do you want to pretend to be my boyfriend? And she just goes full on. It's like, no, we're dating now. In her head, they're just dating. She goes like, hey, I need to practice being a girlfriend. He shows up. She's in a bunny suit.
Oh.
It's that kind of like level of comedy. And slowly he learns the secrets of all the other harem members. And slowly they start falling for him. And he's like, wait, no. I'm not the main character. What the hell are you guys doing?
Where how many chapters?
A good bit. But it is solid. It is funny. There's a lot of references. It's a fun parody of like the quote unquote traditional shonen action series.
Yeah.
Cause like by trying to be the best side character, this guy is also like really strong and really fast and like a really good fighter. So like the demons show up and they go like, we'll kill you because you're just a side.
Oh,
like,
I just realized what this is a commentary on. This is like freaking, like when people say Rock Lee should have been the protagonist of Naruto, like type like commentary. So like when people like, Joey Wheeler's like my favorite, when people say like the side like or rival characters their favorite character, this is just the manga just playing with that concept reception,
Yeah. But like the demons show up, the bad guys show up, and they go like, we're gonna fight and kill you, and he goes like, finally, I can be like the side character and get like, I can do the Krillin, I can die and then come back and like give them motivation to fight the bad guys. Oh, sweet. And so he just overacts dying, and the demons are going like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's hilarious. It's really good comedy.
Yeah. Like this sounds like, depending on the execution, it can be very make or break. But I like the ideas.
Yeah. And the last one is Shinmai Osan Boken. Okay, this is another like one of those like fantasy series wish fulfillment kind of things. But here's the premise: the main character is a middle-aged dude who has basically been a guild receptionist for his whole life. He sits behind a counter and gives out missions for adventurers.
Interesting.
And he has always longed to go out and adventure himself.
Mm-hmm.
One day, he just finally gets fed up with everything, and he goes and becomes friends with this powerful adventuring group. And this orc, who's like dressed like a fucking Buddhist monk, goes like, all right, cool. I'm gonna train you. And then we cut 3 years or 4 or 5 years. We cut some time later.
Yeah, training arc?
No training arc, because that's the comedy. This dude is like unsure of himself. He's a little shy. He's like, oh man, I'm a middle-aged guy and I'm just now adventuring. And everyone looks down on him because like, look at this old fart, right?
Yeah.
And then he just decimates everything and goes like, man, my master would be upset at me. I didn't do any harder, you know? I only made a crater 3 meters long. It should have been 4 meters long. And you're going like, who the fuck is this dude's master? Right? And all this kind of stuff. And so they show up, and it's just like, it's like having one of the most overpowered characters, and his best friend's even more overpowered, and they're like, yo, dude, you're awesome. And he's like, what the fuck are you on about? Your arms are nukes. You know?
That sounds cute, yeah.
But I'm gonna spoil what recently happened in the manga just because it's a big reason why I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
So they're on a quest to get like a bunch of orbs to solve the big fantasy plot, you know, everything.
Yeah.
So they have to fight in a tournament in order to get the orb and the belt.
Yeah, what's the twist?
The twist is no one can beat the orc guy because he's competing. They wanted to make sure that they win.
Okay.
And everyone underestimates our main character, and he continues to win, and he becomes a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Until they are the last 2 people in the tournament, and it's revealed why the orc guy wanted to train him. See, in orc culture, fighting is communication. It's a way to build bonds and all this kind of stuff. But he was born a little different than his brothers and his father. He was so much stronger than them that they didn't want to fight him. They couldn't fight him because they would die. And so much so that they just started revering him like a demigod. And he felt so lonely that he didn't get to engage in this fundamental form of communication with his family, that he wanted to train someone to finally fight him with all of his might so he can finally like feel like he has a brother.
Is this the final arc?
No! It's still going on!
Whoa.
This is just a great bit of character development that just makes you understand these guys so much better.
Yeah, that's pretty hype. Yeah. Thank you for spoiling that, because that kind of sold me on this, like, to eventually check it out.
Yeah. It's really good. It's solid. I'm sending you the cover.
Yeah.
So you can know what to kind of look for. Also, it's just like the fight scenes are pretty well drawn. The action's pretty well drawn. It's just really good. It's pretty solid. Yeah. And again, it does dive into wish fulfillment, but it's more of like it's never too late to start your dream. You know, it's never too late to start, you know, and like, yeah, you're not going to be the best at it, you know, like this guy is, but it's like, no, you can start whenever you want.
Yeah, that's a good message. I like when media portrays message a lot. So I think like, I'll definitely look into this. And I freaking love the designs here. They're really cool.
Yeah. Oh, we got someone making a little snide comment in the chat. In our chat.
Yeah, freaking Vax says manga is for weeb and losers, and I don't like. Well, screw you. And he also
well, Vac hasn't said anything yet. So
he said it on the freaking like Craig recording. Look at the like. You can add notes to the Craig recordings apparently.
Oh, I'm never reading One Piece. Oh,
man, I can't believe Vac hates.
Here's the funny thing. Captain Marvelous Nosferatu.
It kind of does look like Captain Marvelous. Like we're already like 20 to 30 minutes in, and we're only at the honorable mentions. We got to get to the main picks, man.
Yeah. So do you want to go back and forth through our list?
Yeah, we'll go back and forth. Gonna warn you right now. A lot of my picks are normie, like compared to Boingo's like amazing taste, I'm still relatively new to manga. He's read way more than me, so I'm still kind of getting the essential right now, or like the stuff I want. Now a lot of these, so be warned for a lot of normie picks, a lot of me catching up with classic series. Right. First up, number 5. I was a bit hesitant to put this, but like I'm gonna do it anyway. Bocchi the Rock. Okay, you all probably know what Bocchi because of the brand new hotness. But like, I decided because I like the anime a lot. I'm gonna go back to the manga, and it's pretty cute. Like, I see why a lot of people like it got because like I was reading some interviews of the anime staff, and like apparently it was I think either the sound guy or like one of the big guys who's directing it was like really pushing for this manga specifically to get adapted because he was such a big fan of it, and that's like super cute. And like, oh yeah, like. It's like it's formatted in like 4-panel structure. I don't know what the specific term is, but that's like the structure.
4-koma.
4-koma. It's a 4-koma structure, and it follows our titular protagonist Bocchi, who like all the members of this band are actually like apparently based on like Asian Kung Fu Generation members, so that's actually really cool. But like yeah, and she has immense social anxiety. Introverted is what she calls herself. And it like the anime plays it up to a comical degree. It's pretty like well done here, but like I think this is like a case where the anime adaptation is so good it like excels the source. Like, but like I'm trying to focus on the manga here, and the manga still has like the great makings of what made the anime so good. So I still gotta want to give it like a mention, being like, yeah, this is where the story.
It sounds like kind of like Cromartie High School. Like the animation just punches it up a level.
Oh yeah, it's like Kaguya-sama, where like the comedic timing and animation, just like there's so many there's a surprising amount of mixed media in the anime, where it's like there's like puppets and paper crafts and even 3D models sometimes, like comedically 3D models. Like it was like this picture where it's like it shows a freak out and it's like Bocchi T-posing and like falling into some trees and like in like a freaking rudimentary 3D model for like comedic effect to show these. Like it just they knew what the core of the manga was, but they wanted to like go like even further with it to seek to like kind of like see those like trees that the like plants and like make them into full trees. Yeah, it's just really cute. Like all the characters are really likable. Like Bocchi especially, like oh, it's very relatable. Especially like I love media about making like creating art. And I feel like this is a really good like modern like music and modern creating music anime because like Bocchi starts off making like YouTube covers, like basically or Bibli covers, like online video covers, and she is like she's really into it, but she's like this series is basically about her like expanding her horizons to like in-person like rock bands and like learning to socialize with in-person people and like kind of breaking out of that shell. But also like in one of the more recent like episodes and chapters, there's like a stress of like, oh, she's like leaving this behind and everyone her online audience is worried about her, and there's this like stress, but it's like, oh, I'm happy doing the real stuff. So it's like, oh, that kind of anxiety. It's just it surprised me in a way I didn't think it would. Like I thought, okay, it would be relatable in like a social aspect, but no, it's relatable and also just a creative aspect. So yeah, I will definitely like. I hope they make a physical release for America because I definitely want to pick that up when it ever happens, if it ever happens. Because like also just the covers for the mangas just are so cool. Yeah, Bocchi the Rock. Watch the anime, read the manga, just experience the story. It's great.
Hell yeah. I've seen the one clip of her just being scribbles and everyone just going like, the voice actress can actually make that noise. What the fuck?
Yeah, like, again, like, they went hard with that adaptation. I think it probably, like, and like, this is crazy. I know this is crazy to say in a year where we got the Chainsaw Man anime adaptation, but it's probably one of the most recent anime adaptations in a while, because Chainsaw Man adaptation's great and all. But, like, the Bocchi one, like, elevated the source material, while the Chainsaw Man's, like, on par with
a lot of anime is just to sell the manga.
Yeah, and this, like, elevates the manga. This is, like, it showcases stuff you can't do in the manga. That wasn't even in the manga, you know?
Yeah.
You got yeah, that's Bocchi. Go read or watch it. Yeah. Your turn next, Boingo, Schloingo.
See, here's the thing. You say, like, my picks aren't gonna be normie. My picks are a little normie.
Alright,
Reincarnated as a slime.
Oh yeah, I read a bit of it. I've only read up to like the first half of season 1, according to like the anime thing. But I really enjoyed what I read of it. You want to take it away because you've obviously read more.
Oh yeah, no, like I'm now post Demon King art.
Yeah, you're further than the anime.
Yeah. I don't even know if the anime's even animate like even gotten close to where the manga is right now. And I haven't read the light novel. I haven't read the web novel, so that goes much further. But yeah. So reincarnated as a slime, dude just dies and gets reincarnated as like a little Dragon Quest slime, but he just runs into a fucking dragon and becomes friends with him and just gets a bunch of fucking magic.
Yeah.
And just starts fucking shit up.
Yeah, it's like, man, I like for a series I normally wouldn't be into. It's just super cool. I don't know the exact appeal of it. It could just be I like the character designs just a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the when I talk to my queer friends, that's the immediate way I like get them interested. It's like, oh yeah, the main character's non-binary.
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah. They don't recognize like gender because they can just go back and forth, and they do.
Yeah, and their fits are also cool. And it's just like, especially like the way I've seen it, like they move into like their slime and human form. That's just a really cool vision. It's like
but it's another one of those like I just want to build a little world, and it could like I just want to write about building Stardew Valley, you know?
Yeah.
And there is more action, there's more fighting, but it is mostly of like, look at these cool people. Here's them integrating into the world. Here's how they help. And this is also like one of the few like world like community building fantasy stories that just doesn't devolve into Japanese liberalism.
Oh yeah, like that's a huge like yikes when it comes to like these kinds of like built like political edge stories where it's like, you don't want to go too far, you know?
Yeah, because they always just go like, you know what's the best system? Japanese capitalism.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh god.
And it's like it just double hurts when they do it because a lot of these stories are meant to be like escapism from that kind of shit. So it's like you're falling into the exact thing you want to avoid.
Yeah, no, they're escapism from the fact that you're not on the bottom. You're the CEO.
Yeah, and that's not great.
But I wouldn't say Reincarnated as a Slime, the world that they've built is like purely is like, oh, it's leftist. It's not. It's not a leftist book. It's just like it doesn't dive into, yes, here's how we're gonna do taxation. Like, we're just not gonna talk about taxes. We're not gonna talk about money. We're just gonna talk about like how they built the houses and helped everybody out.
Yeah. Like it knows what details to leave out for dumb internet commenters just argue about on 4chan.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Slime is good. And there's a part of me that's sad that I can't get the bunny statue of Rimuru.
Yeah. I just want a statue of Rimuru, period.
No, have you seen the bunny statues?
A bit.
Well, it's just a line. They pick hot anime girls and they put them in bunny costumes.
Yeah.
Well, they also did one for Rimuru.
Oh, is it just the slime form?
Oh no, it is exactly what it says on the tin. It is like everyone else, but it's Rimuru's like basic human form. So it's this guy, but it's in a bunny costume.
Oh, that's actually kind of. I like the color scheme on that. Actually.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, pouty. Yeah, that's way better than I thought it was.
Oh, here's the thing. This line can get very dejected.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was like. That's what I'm saying. Oh, that's way better than I initially thought when you pitched the idea.
Because my friends Hatch and I think Elma has one, but they have a couple of the bunny figures.
Yeah, I've seen them on like anime like pop-in stores. That's
you say, geez, I'm horny.
Well, like you'll see when this episode comes out.
You think he's gonna listen to it? He's not.
Making me feel sad.
But what's your next manga pick?
All right,
what's your next
let's go with something that actually released chapters this year. I mean, like a lot of these things released chapters there, but something like I read a lot of the chapters that released this year. Kaiju number 8. I sometimes miscall this Kaiju number 9. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep missing.
And here's the thing: the only other one is like Chojin X.
Yeah, which is like getting a free comic book.
Well, they're all on Fizz. They're all on Shonen Jump.
I'm just saying that's pretty cool because Vat keeps mentioning that because he keeps, what's a Shonen X? Anyway, Kaiju number 8. Basically, if I had to pitch this series without actually pitching this series, imagine if like Ultraman, but everyone's against Ultraman because he's a big monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I love.
It seemed more like it's Ultraman, but there's no Ultraman, and just one of the giant kaiju happens to be a good guy.
Yeah, basically. Like, well, I guess Godzilla.
It's classic kaiju tropes,
Yeah,
you know.
and this is such a good man. I love it a lot, and because it's like, well, it starts off with this like older guy, and with this really relatable issue, like he's about to get cut off to join like the big like military corp that like fighting against the kaiju, because he's in the like starts off as the custodian, like cleaning up the kaiju blood and guts, and he's like, man, I really want to like get to the top, and then it's like this whole like big event where he's like a classic saving the little girl, which like I'm upset, and he gets the powers, and he manages to like that they kind of boost him back in, and it's like right now in the manga, I'm not sure how much you've read, but they've discovered who he is.
I think I read like 10
Oh,
chapters.
dang, I'm going way ahead because it's like 50 chapters.
That's I don't. I'm a journey guy. I'm not a.
Yeah,
I'm not
but
a
like right now
spoiler.
they know who he is, and they kind of been keeping him in containment, and they're kind of letting the other characters shine right now. But like a big outbreak of like big kaiju, like big boss kaijus are there, so it's like they're gonna have to deal with that. There's an anime adaptation coming out soon. I cautiously optimistic for that, but like the art in the manga and pacing is so good. I think I'll prefer overall. Well, but the anime adaptation might blow me away, but yeah, kaiju number. I don't really have much to say because it's like people have pointed out it's a very simple story, but it's a really well done. Like it's like this isn't like I don't want to say because there are messages with like political commentary and like between like the whole feuding of like, oh, how do we deal with these monsters? It's not, but it's not like as like poignant or satirical as like other kaiju related media. But it's just super fun to read and see all these like cool, like likable characters, and like see the intrigue of like, oh, what are the kaijus? What's this guy doing? What's this guy scheming? You know?
I do like the skull face.
Oh yeah,
you
the
know,
main kaiju design for like number 8. I need an SH figure out of that like ASAP because that's good.
you're probably gonna get a Figma before an SH Fig art.
Well, I mean, like Chainsaw Man is getting both a Figma and SH figure out around the same times.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah,
But Figma will get more niche figures that
yeah,
Bandai won't do. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't want to say Bandai's more selective. It's just like they don't cast as big in that.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe whatever the anime adaptation, like the Chainsaw Man figure art did not happen until the anime adaptation was in production. Yeah, that's really gonna be my big like. I actually own like a couple volumes of this physically, and yeah, like honestly, a lot of the story's kind of foggy in my mind. I need to like go reread it, but I loved what I've read. Super destructive art. I don't agree with the people who say this is like Attack on Titan, but kaiju. What the hell are you smell? I guess because it's like, oh, corp. Guys, other stories have big military corps that like fly around like with super like weapons. I don't know what do you guys? Come on, guys, read more.
Yeah, from the little bit I've read of it, it's felt more like what's the fucking video game series where you hunt down giant ants?
God Eater?
No, the fuck where like big giant ants. There's like 50 of them, and you're in a city.
I've actually never heard of it.
Earth Defense Force.
Oh yeah, Earth Defense Force. Yeah, like I've heard that name around. Yeah, I can see that like kind of like early 2000s mecha vibes.
I mean, Uncle Derek, it's me. Derek talked about Earth Defense.
Yeah,
Force,
I haven't watched that video yet. I gotta get good stuff. How about the podcast? Think I'm becoming Vax invading my brain. But well, I'll fight him off. You go next pick.
So this is another slightly normie pick. Like this is a pretty popular manga that a lot of people talk about. Don't Bully Me, Nagatoro-tan.
Yeah, the one that like you either like
the one that if you only read like the first 3 chapters, you go like, wow, this is gross bullying shit.
Well, like I mean, I was gonna say the one where if you're a fan of it, you're either super nice or a jerk.
It's a good little rom-com.
Like people get way too up in arms. Like it looks nice. It's just not something I'm personally.
And eventually to do want people. It's like the back in the you know, and she
kind of cutting it off a bit. Yeah, oh, you're getting better.
Hello.
Oh, you're getting better.
There we go. But as I was saying, like they encourage each other to pursue their dreams. Her pursuing him going into art,
yeah,
and doing everything. Most of the characters are fun, and like there is an earlier chapter where she pushes too far, and she realizes I went too far, and she backs off. She learns her lesson. It's not bullying; it is teasing.
Yeah, Like, isn't like the one of the English translations is like "Stop teasing me, Nagagoto."
Yes, I think that's the more accurate English translation.
Yeah. But yeah, like I actually really like that because it's like a lot of like these like girl like gets overly like not touchy but like overly like scoldy with boy manga in high school. Like they usually let the girl off scot free because she pretty and she girl. But she giving like some good life lessons, but also it's like you don't want to push too much. That's a bad lesson and leads to people being very much suburbians.
Oh yeah, no, like she learns is like they learn each other's boundaries, and she doesn't push as far as hard as it goes on till the point where like they tease each other.
That's cute. I like that.
Like she teases more, and he's still nervous wreck, but like, and it does get to the point where it's like you see those kind of people who are dating in all but name.
Yeah,
It's like that. Like go out, they eat, they go and do stuff and all that kind of stuff, and it's just they're waiting for the right moment to say like, "Hey," you know.
yeah.
And in fact, we see through the main character, the main guy's point of view so much that you realize like, "Bro, yes, tease me a lot, but I tease horrible, just
Mhm.
have confidence in myself and defend myself,
Yeah.
and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of good stuff.
Did I go next?
Yeah,
All right.
go all boy.
All right. Speaking of Hog Wild, I read a lot of Berserk. I haven't finished. I finished up to the conviction arc, which is like half of like of Berserk here. And it's really good. Yeah. Yeah. Well, shocker! One of the greatest manga of all time is really good. Oh, who could have suspected that? Oh. Yeah, but yeah. I will say like my favorite part was the Lost Children arc, and I know that's like a fan favorite part. And man, that shit hits hard. I think that's like if you need like a small mini arc to show everything that's great about Berserk, Lost Children, perfect arc. Like if just like it shows the grim, it shows the hopeful, it shows the comedic, it shows the badass, it shows everything about Berserk.
Yeah.
It's like, and I know it's like it's gone back into like syndication and publication. Kentaro Miura's best friend. And I still like I'm waiting until I get to that part before reading the memorial month, which I know is gonna make me and it just and it's like really like man like hearing more about him, it's like man, it's such a tragedy. It's like
Yeah.
it's like I know people like are like oh well like he was still like happy under his early life, but that still doesn't excuse the horrible working conditions he was most likely stressed under. That
You know, and the big problem is less it's like he was forced to work under it, and it's just more of like that
yeah
that like the culture around it expects and encourages.
yeah encourages like basically breaking your back to even killing yourself in this case to just like make the most perfect art, especially because like we know Miura was a perfectionist, so it's just
Yep. I mean, and that's why I will never ever complain that One Piece will take breaks.
yeah, or freaking like Chainsaw Man was on a couple breaks, and people are like, "Oh, it's back to weekly," and I'm like, I kind of liked it when it was bi-weekly, not gonna lie, but like, because like Fujimoto can take breaks, but like, and I honestly, I'm super like, it also just breaks are nice, especially after like a major arc, like of like a story. I think a break is warranted to like let people catch up, And also like
Honestly, honestly, if I ran a weekly comics magazine, I would have double the roster and just alternate every week.
yeah, it'll probably be more money, but like, hey, more people on board, and more people get to make art. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry if this is less about Berserk and more about Kentaro Miura, but they're kind of like interlinked, like especially in manga, where it's like the offer and the creation are so closely connected because it's like a lot of the times it's the same guy writing and drawing it. That's like yeah, there's just the whole personality, the whole like life of this man, and the whole like the emotions he wants to tell, the story, what he wants to leave behind,
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of why manga is like slow, like that, like is like that, like tragic but like beautiful thing is kind of why manga is like we'll quickly look out my list of like this is my favorite medium of like storytelling that to experience, Yeah, Rip Kentaro Miura. I'm very excited to read Millennium Falcon, which is basically just double like conviction arc. Like it's longer than the Golden Age, so it's like whoa, yeah. And like I know, like I'm interested to check out the Memorial Edition they've been airing, which is like recuts of the movies with like new scenes. Like I heard they finally did like one of the more famous scenes that wasn't in the original cut of the movie or in the '97 anime, so that's really cool. It's the scene where like Casca like cut like like has Noogie with guts as they kind of like deal with the trauma like during Golden Age, midway through Golden Age. Yeah. Yeah, Berserk, it's really darn good.
It's Berserkalicious. Go make sure you eat your Berserkos.
Yeah, if you can handle it, because very graphic manga. Like people were saying, like I found some of the maybe this is just my like queasiness to like sex things, but like the freaking ritual and conviction arc with like that was a bit like ugh. And also horse balls.
Yeah.
Horse balls. Ugh.
Horse testes.
Yeah. That's probably the scariest thing. But like anyway, enough horse balls. What's your third number?
Our third thing is hey, we talked about some sports manga earlier. This is one of the preeminent like classic sports manga. I've been going back and reading it. Ice Shield 21.
Is this the one by the frickin' One Punch Man thing told me about?
This is the artist from the redo of One Punch Man.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Hold on. Murata. And the author, because he didn't write this, it was written and drawn by two different people. The author went on to do Dr. Stone.
Hey, let me freaking look up Dr. Stone, because I Shield 21's kind of hard to type like phonetically. Richiro Inagi?
I think so.
Yeah.
Hold on, I can figure this out real quick for you, bud.
Yeah, he did. They did Art Shield.
Yeah. So hey, this is just American football, the sports anime.
Yeah, like art you showed me like on that one components episode.
The big thing about it though that's fun and interesting is like for a lot of sports manga, they're kind of popular in Japan, so they teach you the rules. They don't expect you to hold on. They expect you to know some of the rules, so they don't go into any depth. But American football is just not that super big and popular in Japan. Mm-hmm. So they explain everything. They go here's all the rules. Here's what each position is really good for. Here's how to kind of structure a football team.
Hey.
And it teaches you football as it goes through, and each major arc is about like major aspect of the play. Like one team they fight is just all about defense, and it's just like here's like a cool bit of defense in football. Here's this team that's really good at offense. This is how offense works in football.
I wonder how like a football expert would react to it. Just be like, is this too basic? Is this advanced? Is this too basic? Is like, I don't know.
I think later on it'll get more so, but in the beginning it's very much of just like, here are the basics so you understand what's going on.
Yeah. That's it, like.
But basically, yeah.
It's good shit. It sounds like good shit. Like it's a like a yeah. You talk about you read it.
And basically your main character is a little dude who got bullied so much that he would have to be a runner and a gopher for people.
Oh, so his legs are super good?
Yeah, he's a really good runner, and he has to do things super fast, so he's really good at dodging people. Yeah. And the quarterback of the football team sees him and goes like, that kid. And the quarterback's a scumbag who just blackmails everyone and carries guns with him everywhere.
This is part of the mafioso?
No, he's just a fucking weirdo dude.
Okay.
That's the fun part. And he sees him and goes like, hey, you're gonna play football, whether you like it or not. And slowly the main character starts loving the game. He starts getting joy from playing it, and they recruit more players. So and they start learning to love the game. And it's just like, it's about this group of dudes who like come together and like become bros, you know?
Love that in sports. But like, so what I'm getting at is that the most intense soccer mom, but not soccer mom character like forces this dude into like sports, and yet he learns to love it. Man, really.
Oh, here's the thing. That dude is actually kind of a nice guy. Cause like he's a scumbag to a lot of people, but it's mostly just to get him and his crew a shot, you know?
Yeah, like he's very aggressive and trying to like, this is our spot, you know, this is our place in the world.
Yeah, and like all the teams are themed after like real sports teams, but they take it to a degree to make it have like a fun visual. So like our main characters are the Devil Dogs, so they're a fucking ragtag crew that don't look like, because hey, your main characters, they can all look different.
Yeah. Kind of buzzing out. Still kind of robot-y. Yeah, it's still.
Oh.
Okay, now it's not better. Now it's better. Now it's better.
But called
Mm-hmm.
Like this team calls this whole team are just taser bros. You know?
Yeah.
I believe it's like trying to call here. It's fun.
Yeah. Like it sounds great, you know? I got nothing to say, but like it sounds like a very fun like sports like introduction to football thing.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Sorry about that. We had some technical issues.
Sort of thing. Last year.
Surf Bros.
So yeah, so there's a little bit of a see later on in the book that I haven't gotten to yet, where they go up against an American football team.
Oh yeah. You don't say anything. I think.
Yeah. But like, here's the thing. That's a negative, but overall, it's a worthwhile story. You know.
Just sometimes you guys sometimes deal like. Are you willing to deal with this bullshit? Sometimes like.
Yeah.
It seems like this is like bullshit we're dealing with.
Yeah, but it's also like because I know what happens in that. It's also couched in like the coach learning the lesson of like don't
be racist.
Yeah, even though the story itself does a bunch of shit, is like
seems just like misguided.
All right, heart's in the right place. Their heart's in the right place, but
yeah, it's like misguided. Like
so what's your? Oh, go.
They got the spirit. What else? I think that's it for you. Should I just move on? We're on number 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully less technical difficulties, because this is probably the most recent thing I've read. This year, I finally decided I'm getting off my butt and reading the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure manga. I watched parts 1 and 2 of the anime, and I'm like, you know what? Stone Ocean, almost gonna end the anime. I'm gonna read the manga for parts 3 and whatever I can get through. I am currently on I finished 3 through 7. On part 8, I just started it. I haven't really gotten too far. Only like 1 arc. I really like this series. Yeah, surprise, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is really darn good.
Yeah. This is solid.
Very good. It is especially love the escalation of like Araki experimenting with new storytelling methods, or going back to old ones, or like experimenting with his like lore and character archetype. Because we see like in part 5, Giorno is basically just him like experimenting with Jonathan's character. Like, what if Jonathan and Dio were like one? And that's like really fascinating. Giorno is one of my favorite JoJos, honestly. My second favorite JoJo, next to my boy Josuke Hishigata from part 4. I love part 4. It's so good. It's like my favorite part. Even like I read Steel Ball Run, and that's my second favorite part. I love part 4 way more. Like it's like one of my like new favorites in general. Like I love the vibes, I love the villain, I love the characters, I love the growth from other parts. It's part 4. I can't wait to get.
All of JoJo's just good.
Yeah, like people call parts 1 and 2 slow, and I kind of did forget a lot about part 2, but it's still a good story. Like part 1 is way better than a lot of people. Jonathan has more depth than like a lot of people give him credit for. He's not just good boy. He's been through some shit, you know? And he even said like he serves as a great legacy to like start off to expand and experiment with types of this, you know? Like, we got Joseph with his cocky heroism, Jotaro with his, like, more serious, Josuke, like, going back to a bit more laid back, Giorno with, like, going back to Jonathan's deal of justice, but, like, a bit more brutal, you know? Like, it's, like, this is why people say don't skip parts, because the evolution of both, like, storytelling, Araki's, like, ability to, like, make great stories, and just, like, the world building, in a sense, like, between characters and the relationships, and who's descended from who, that shit's really important, you know? Like, to, like, fully understand and get the appeal of JoJo.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I can understand someone not immediately gravitating to part 1. So, like, I can understand, like, showing them an arc from a later part that would be more interesting, but don't part skip.
Like show them, like, one of the one-offs from part 4, if they want to, like, get...
Like, Pearl Jam. Show them the Pearl Jam arc.
Is that the one with Red Hot Chili Peppers?
No, that's the one with the chef.
Oh, okay. I usually call it the spaghetti arc in my head.
The stand is Pearl Jam.
Yeah, I just call it the spaghetti arc.
That's the most fascinating thing about JoJo too, is like you can see the history of music as it goes on.
Yeah, because like we see more modern like songs like as the like in the more parts set in modern day, or just like as the series goes.
But it's also just like as the series goes on, you can see Araki learning new music and keeping up with the times of like, oh, part 3, one of the bad guys is Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, which I think had to be like relocalized to like I read the like the fanfiction, so I don't know what they relocalized to. I think it was like I was playing the All Star Battle remaster, and that had like a different name for Vanilla Ice, and I'm like, oh, this they had to relocalize a bunch of these names. Like I know the most infamous one is like Sticky Fingers to Zipper Man, which isn't a terrible localization, but it's also just like a whoa, we just went 180 from like the original meaning.
But also, Sticky Fingers isn't you like sure it's a Rolling Stones album, but like it's just a turn of phrase.
Yeah, why did they have to change it? I don't get it.
I don't know, but like you go through all these different things and you see all these like he goes back and listens to some music. He goes forward and listens to contemporary stuff.
Why, like, a lot of the discussion around JoJo Lands right now was like, what music will Araki reference this time around? People are just really fascinated.
Well, he usually references rock and R&B and hip hop. He doesn't do a super ton of hip hop, but he does do some
talk about like what specific like modern song.
Oh, I guarantee you, with Araki and his taste, with how much psychedelic-esque music he has already referenced, he's gonna put some King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizards reference somewhere.
That just the name alone sounds like a JoJo.
I can see, because that's the thing. There's not a lot of super bands and stuff, so it's probably gonna be more songs.
Yeah.
And it's not a spoiler, but like there's a stand in part 8 that's called Born This Way.
So yeah, Jolien. I haven't
from Lady Gaga.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think that's like the most recent music reference. I could be wrong though.
There's gonna be some things, and that's the other thing of like he may also just be gonna reference a lot of older stuff because contemporary music is so disparate and a wide variety. I just had the best fucking thought. What if there's just a stand that's just 100 gex?
I mean, that's what everyone wants. Everyone's like saying like what Weezer jokes for like part 9.
Araki does not strike me as a guy who would listen to Weezer.
Yeah. I don't know. Araki has like I don't know. I don't really like listen to a lot of the songs they reference, but I just like the names.
Yeah.
They're funny names. Even just cool names. So like
But JoJo good. JoJo good.
Yeah. If I had to rank parts, I don't. Part 4 is my favorite. Obviously, it's the best. Part 7, Steel Ball Run. This is the fan favorite one. The one set in the West. Semi reboot, but not really. I mean,
it's a new universe, but it carries themes and elements still. It just doesn't carry continuity.
Yeah, basically, and it's like it's really good. I freaking love Gyro and Johnny's relationship. That pizza mozzarella I need to see how they animate that. And whenever they get the Steel Ball, if they get the Steel Ball Run, I don't know if they will because horses. That's because Araki went nuts with the horses in Steel Ball Run, and that's why people are like, "Is this gonna get animated?" Because horses are hard to draw.
Yeah, that's why I think there's been a rumor that it might be 3D animated. Because if you just do a horse model, you can just pose that shit. You don't have to redraw.
Honestly, like 3D anime has come a long way. I would not mind it, and it will it'll make sense because new universe, like new animation. Yeah. I wonder if they'll like get the freaking Komigaza. I'm pretty sure that's a studio, so I don't think they can. It's like the guys who do the 3D openings and like Ultra Jump commercials. I think they're like that. They're like a more commercial studio, not really like a. Here's a full show. Go adapt this. They're not like
Yeah.
Part 7. Oh, now part 5 used to be my least favorite, but it's quickly gone up like as my third favorite. I just like it's really a story that needs to like sit with you, like its themes and its messages, and just like how like great of a protagonist Giorno. I love Giorno since like minute 1 of part 5, but like it really strikes you like how like well it is compared to other parts. Part 6 would be 4 favorites. That I don't. Part 6, I'm kind of like, it's great, but I'm kind of indifferent to it compared to the other parts, because it's like, oh yeah, it's great JoJo's, and like outside of the ending, that's all I really, a lot of like funny, weird stuff, but like, then part 5, not part 5, ranking 5 would be Stardust Crusaders, and then 1 over 2. 2 is my least favorite part, but it's still a really good story, so that should tell you the quality of Yeah, Stardust Crusaders, like, it kind of drags in the middle, but it's way better than a lot of people. I don't get the hate for it these days. I guess because it's like the originator of a lot of tropes, but as the originator of a lot of tropes, it does them really well, and I love Pontarant. It's not cute, but like manly and funny, you know. He's a very charming guy, and he
Yeah.
gets a lot of great. Although, rip to my boy Avdol, though, man, they do him so dirty. Freaking bring him back in part 7 just to do him dirty again.
Yeah.
Like I'm tempted to like half jokingly call Araki Islamic phobic, but no, that's a bit too.
I mean, Avdol is probably one of the most prominent Islamic anime
I
characters,
think
isn't
he's
he?
the like if you have to basically Google like Islamic anime characters, that's like the big poster. It's like
And he's like a badass. He's shown as a competent
he's
dude.
competent. I love him. I just wish he got more to do. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's another interesting thing about JoJo. It's just like it's very international. It's very Iraqi.
loves like the West.
He treats people with respect, and like even though some characters are a little, I wouldn't say there are some. I wouldn't say problematic, but there's characters that are like they're they're not perfect. Like Smokey from part 2. Like they fixed it in the anime, and it's just like yeah, no, it's just.
I watched the anime of part 2, so it's
yeah. He was it was just more of the coloring, and I think they fixed it in later editions.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It wasn't so much that I think it was blackface. I think it was just like the lips were lighter than, and it, you know, that kind of thing. And also part 2 has, I wouldn't say Nazi apologist. It's just more of like, hey, all the German people weren't Nazis, and some of them were conscripted kind of vibe.
Like kind of not apologist, more like just like I honestly like
realist.
What word did you say?
I said realist. It's like recognizing like, yeah, they were also people.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't really like a big part. They were just more just a one-off thing. So you could just look at it as like, oh, that's another thing on this bizarre adventure. Yeah. So yeah, JoJo good. I'm writing a video about it, and I'm kind of proud of the thesis I made for the first 6 parts, like how it all ends. But like, I'll save that for a while. But basically, my thesis is there's a reason Araki put adventure. He used that title well when he ended part 6. That's all I'm gonna say to like kind of thematically. And we've been talking about JoJo's for so long. We can talk about you.
Mazumushi Elf.
Explain.
Okay, so I'm gonna just have to spoil it because that's the why it's on the list, because it's fascinating.
Go ahead.
It starts off with a dude being isekai'd into a world and hanging out with a bunch of elves, and the elves can't cook. So he starts cooking for them, and they go like, wow, this is delicious, you know? Typical, you have a skill, and it's useful in a world, wish fulfillment stuff, right? Yeah. And slowly, the manga starts revealing information.
It's a full point.
There's another elf in there, but she's British. And I don't mean like, oh, she acts like she's British. No, she's fucking British. She comes from Britain.
Get to the point.
Okay. And she wants tea, and they go and look for tea, and like all this little information starts unfolding of like, why don't these people have certain things? Why is the world that they're living in the way it is? Why is humanity
freaking like Revolutionary War?
No, because they're elves. They're elves. They have long fucking ears and elves. So they run in to an Arachne, and if you don't know what an Arachne is, it's a mythical beast, part woman, part spider.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And they become friends with her. And slowly, as you learn her backstory, you realize she was experimented on by aliens.
Okay.
And you realize that this entire world, that all these different magical species and that they find themselves on, is actually a massive fucking experiment by a bunch of fucking alien species. That, like, the British elf girl was like, yo, this is kind of fucked up. And she goes in there to help out the people that are living in there. And it's just like, where the fuck is this going? It's good. It's not bad.
I mean, it sounds good. You had to put it on the list somehow.
And like, there's another character that shows up. And who is he? Oh, he's just a little boy. He's from Earth, from ancient Greece. He was the apprentice to a philosopher. And he's giving a bunch of magical beings like a certain philosophical belief. People are being isekai'd in this world to teach cultural ideas, and they're seeing how they work. That's why this guy got brought in, because he can cook. That's why the kid gets brought in, because of philosophy. and like there's a butting of heads and things are building tension, and like I don't know where it's going to go because there hasn't been a new chapter recently, but it's good. It's a good weirdo fun thing, and the characters are fun and enjoyable.
Sounds like it could go south really quick, but like right.
Oh, here's the thing. It could definitely turn weird.
Yeah, this like could go into like some weird politics, but like right now this sounds.
No, not necessarily politics. It's not weird politics. It's just more of like weird execution of story.
Yeah, but like also that like I
Because
just
like
for what you're
because like
pitching with like the
no
whole
one.
like people coming together with like ideas like that. It seems like there's a revolution next slowly. That's just my.
No, it's just more. It doesn't play into that. It's never that much. It's just more of like. It's more of like they are beings in a zoo, and they don't know it, but certain people do know it, and they want to break them out. And they like. It's just like they don't. They deserve to live a free and happy life without the worry of these weirdo beings over top of them. Like most of the characters don't even fucking know what's going on.
Seems like
only like 2 or 3 people know what's going on, and that's the Spider Girl and the British elf.
So it
girl.
seems like you're gonna have to like freaking like the ending's gonna be the key to like the full picture.
Yeah. But it's good, it's enjoyable, and it's the fun part is like seeing all these people who don't eat good food getting good food and going like, oh my god, this is delicious. Because like it's revealed later on of like why do the elves when we first meet them only just boil their meat? And it turns out, a Japanese soldier from World War II got isekai'd in the middle of the war.
And that's all he knows?
And he just knows basic bare bones fucking eat this, it's good for you. And so like they built a culture around you don't do anything extra for food because then it's bad for you. So this guy has to our main character has to come in and go like, no. You don't have to boil meat. You can grill it and you can build flavor. And it's like, you can see the little elements there of like,
yeah, sounds very interesting. Definitely tell me how it ends or like gets to another big revelation because I'm kind of invested in like what you're telling me here.
I have okay manga taste. I can say that.
Fun manga. Fun. That's the word I'd use. Speaking of fun, my number one, the thing that basically influenced me doing this at the end of the year and reading all these manga. One Piece!
Oh, you're immediately going to One Piece because I have one more. I have 5 and then I had One Piece.
Yeah, sorry. It's my number one, so it's like we're going.
Well, yeah, no, it's number 1, so I have a top 6, I guess.
Yeah, so One Piece, the One Piece. That whole game we're done. But yeah, One Piece, good, very good. I'm kind of like I'm still reading current, but I'm kind of like saving up, doing like a month's worth of chapters, and then I read it right now. But like I am caught up. I am I am caught up, and I feel like I don't know, it's just One Piece. You all know One Piece. It's basically the best for execution of like modern shonen, and like long term storytelling. And it's kind of crazy that still keep going, even though we're in the final arc. And Oda even mentioned this at like an end of year wrap up, where he's mentioned all the great things One Piece is doing and is going to do. Where it's like, I know I said we're in the final arc, but that that I kind of exaggerate 1 years. But like I do feel like he's meaning it. We are starting to approach an end. How long?
I think we're in the beginning of a new saga, like how like Alabasta started with fucking Whiskey Pete.
Yeah. Like we're definitely in a big beginning. Like, would you consider Wano a saga within itself?
Yeah.
Like that's all.
This Wano is like right after Whole Cake up to the end of Wano.
Like New World, would you consider like the first like chunk of New World, or is that like up to just?
No, it's Dressrosa, the Dressrosa saga, Whole Cake saga, and then the Wano saga.
Okay, gotcha. I'm kind of rusty on my like what is numbered because it's been a bit, but I did binge One Piece over the summer. Yeah, it's good. Frankie's my favorite. Frankie Brook is close. I just kind of need him to get a bit more like, development now. Not development, but just more cool moment. I don't know. Maybe it's been a bit, but like I did like his introduction. I don't hate the freaking arc he was interested in, but he was the best part of it. But I feel like he wasn't as focused on as for that arc. It was called Thriller Bark. That's what it was called. Thriller Bark. Like his stuff was so good, it kind of made like everything else besides the Usopp versus Penunia fight pale into comparison. So it's just I don't know. That's my whole Brook. Like he's still great. Robin's great. Chopper, he's a cute guy. Luffy, he's that MC. He's that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad Zoro got some like cool moments because I know a lot of fans have been petitioning that for a while. It's like nice that he got like a cool little mini arc of like he let me train with some swords and stuff, like some cool panels, you know.
Yeah.
Yamato's great, you know, I love him. Yeah, well, I know Yamato's mostly a Wano character, but like also just like they have just transcended what I argue they've transcended Wano and even One Piece itself with his popularity, you know.
That character's gonna come back.
Yeah.
I
Oh, he's definitely coming back.
Yeah.
It's just like I expect him like when they freaking do the whole like everyone is here thing that's gonna probably happen sometime in the final arc. It's like I expect like Yamato to the charge because
No. Bartholomew.
okay, I'm sorry, it's been 100,000 chapters.
He's the barrier guy. He's the
Oh
fanboy.
yeah,
He represents
yeah,
us. We're the ones coming to the Straw
yeah. Okay, that would
Hats'
be fun. That would be
crew.
fun. But like in terms of like warriors and plan, Yamato's that guy, you know.
Um,
I'm just going through like just random One Piece thoughts. Whole Cake is like one of my favorite like post New World arcs. Not just because it's like oh Sanji gets to do more than simp, but also Kamen Rider references and Sentai references, and also just
but also it just completely recontextualizes everyone's complaints about
yeah,
Sanji.
because it's like
Especially from Thriller Bark, because that was a major thing for a while of
yeah,
like, oh, Sanji's ruined because of this. He wanted this one fruit to be a perv, and it's like if you read between the lines, you understand. No, he wanted that fruit because did he want his father's love because that's the power he was supposed to have? Did he want to run away? Did he just want to disappear from the world? And you like go like, oh man.
yeah.
And you start. I fully believe that the pervy thing was just
A
meant to be
gag
like
that just yeah, it was just a gag that didn't work. That's what it was for me. Just a gag that didn't work. Like, you know what you gonna do?
It's not a true indictment of his
Yeah, it's like
character.
you win some, you lose some. I mean, like, of course, One Piece isn't a perfect thing, but like, it's probably as close to like from its core storytelling and like emotional beats, probably as close to perfect the most mainstream of shonens have gotten, especially like consistently good like shonen because it's like all shonens have peaks and valleys, but like even the most like valleyed One Piece is still like 7 out of 10 really solid, you know?
One Piece is very much a culmination of manga's
Yeah.
history. You know what I mean? It takes from so many different times and so many different elements and so much of Oda's history and
70s,
viewership of it
80s,
all.
90s, even 2000.
Like legitimately, you could take some of the art from One Piece and just say like, "Oh yeah, this is the next step of like Shotaro Ishinomori," and you go like, "Yeah, no, that makes sense." It is very Ishinomori-esque. It's very Go Nagai-esque. It's very Monkey-esque.
Yeah, it's very people like I know people complain about the art style, but like legit that it's basically just like a bit more cartoony Lupin the Third when we get down to it.
And even then, Oda knows when to straighten up the stuff and make it badass.
Those like little action panels go hard.
Or like the Luffy Duffy fucking standoff.
Yeah, just some really beautiful stuff art. It's very iconic art that's been memed to death, but still really good. There's a reason it just has that much of an impact and just that well produced.
I'm just glad that One Piece is picking up steam for a lot of people going like, this is a good story.
Like, there's a lot of factors this year that happened. Well, of course, for the West, there's like that whole like, "No One Piece is real" meme. But like, for like, I think like in the wider scope, Film Red happened, and Film Red was a huge hit in Japan. It was like the second highest grossing movie there.
Yeah, but I don't think Film Red's what like has been kickstarting the American fan base. I think it's just word of mouth is starting to be pushed more and more. And people have been disappointed in Boruto and Dragon Ball Super
and My Hero even.
And are going like, okay, what's this One Piece? And they get into One Piece and it's like, oh, this is everything I've been wanting from these stories. Just here.
Yeah, like I've seen people like big people just tweeting about one and just be like, yeah, this I'm so mad I've slept on this, you know?
Oh yeah.
One Piece is good. Yeah, I don't even say it up for the meme. I just say it up for the excitement, you know? Just like, yeah.
There's a lot of just like fun elements. It's going to be a fucking weird day. No, you know what's not going to be weird? It's not going to be the day the final chapter comes out. What's going to be weird is the week after.
Yeah, or like a couple weeks after.
When you open up Shonen Jump and you go like, there's not going to be a new One Piece.
Yeah, like you open up the app, there's no new One Piece. Of course, we'll still get like it's too like we're gonna get merchandise, spin-off content.
Oh, we're gonna. Yeah, no, I would love if Oda. I wouldn't say open up the universe for other creators, but like continue the light novels that like they started with Ace. That'd be fun.
That's what they're trying to do with like because the Ace one was pretty recent, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have the Ace one right here. It's also getting a manga adaptation.
Who's drawing it?
Bochi, the dude who draws Dr. Stone.
I think I think I heard about that, but yeah, that's a
yeah. I got the light novel right here.
I can't see it.
It's really good.
I should read it because Ace. I really liked Ace's role in Film Red. I don't think you've seen Film Red, man. Like
no, I have but like
a non-spoiler thing. Everyone's just been covering the songs, specifically New Genesis, which is like it made its way to like the top 100 charting worldwide, and it's like this song like spoke to people. And yeah, it also I just gotta thank One Piece like for indirectly starting my idol obsession. I love her music. I love her styling. So happy she's getting work, and like I hope she gets to do more cool music for things I like, and just cool music in general. Because
yeah. Like One Piece is just good.
Seeing Film Red in an IMAX theater, that was crazy, man. Subtitled too with the Japanese voice cast. That's crazy.
Here's the thing: I guarantee if you've liked any of the last 10 to 15 years of American animation. Do you like Steven Universe? Did you like Adventure Time? Did you like Owl House?
Freaking like Rebecca Sugar has gone on record for saying like a arc of Steven Universe was inspired by One Piece.
Yeah. Did you like Owl House? Did you like Amphibia? Did you like any of those things? You will love One Piece.
It's like, and don't listen to those people saying, "Oh, it doesn't get good till like the freaking it's the big arc, Arlong Park." No, it's the first chapters of the best first chapters to any manga. Okay, I'm saying it.
Here's the thing: Arlong Park is like that's the point where you stop, and if you're not really enjoying it, you get off. That's what I say. Arlong Park is. I say end of the Zoro arc is like that. It's all good.
Like even when I watched the heavily butchered anime like a while back, just to test it before I committed to the manga, I was like pretty invested in Zoro's story. It's like. Yeah, it's simple compared to like where it's at now, but it's like it's good building blocks, you know. Breaking up again.
Okay, all right, hold on. Sure,
but like I am worried about the Netflix thing, but even if it sucks shit, it'll just influence me. Check out the.
I mean, Oda's been saying it looks good, so
I don't know. I'm just like, One Piece is such a cartoony series. Freaking like, how the hell are you gonna do that in live action?
Who knows?
I mean, the sets are really cool, but like, the production value can only get you so far, man.
But I genuinely believe One Piece should be considered a piece of international literature.
I mean, it is probably the best-selling
up there with like Lord of the Rings.
It's the best-selling manga, so if only for commercial reasons, that's.
No, I'm not even saying just commercially. I'm just saying like what. Creatively, the story that it lays out, the world building that he goes on, how a small detail that seems completely incidental completely recontextualizes major events later on. There is no bit of the story that's ill. And like, sure, you can complain about why he did certain things, but there's a reason behind it.
Yeah, like
like, oh, why is Sanji having so many nosebleeds after the time skip? Oh, because they wanted to set up the blood thing in Fishman.
Or just, like, they want to show, like, his quote-unquote, like, him being touch-starved? I don't know. I mean, I don't like it, but like, it's like, you can show, there's still, like, reasons for things I don't like.
But it makes sense. It tells the story.
It's like, it can be annoying, but like, what you gonna... Yeah, One Piece based, go read it.
Well, should I go through the one thing that we skipped over on my list?
Do it quick. 2 hours.
Okay, real quick. It's Sono Beast. It's the cosplay manga.
I don't think you told me about this.
It's just, it's a really adorable thing. It's a dude who wants to make traditional Japanese dolls. That's been his family's job, and he's just really passionate about it. He he becomes friends with this very cute, like, Gyaro gal who's super into cosplay and who's a model. And she goes like, "Oh my god, you can sew? Help me make cosplay." And so they just start working together, making cosplay, and they slowly start to fall in love with each other.
Oh,
yeah, Dress Up Darling.
You said at the. Oh, did you?
Yeah, Sono Beast is like part of the Japanese title.
Oh, okay.
My Dress Up Darling is the Americanization.
Yeah, I mean, I heard mixed things about it, but like some people really didn't like it, some people really liked it. Like, I think it just depends.
I think there's just a lot of people who just they look at anime and only see. I don't know how to describe it. It's like there's nothing objectionable in this series. I don't understand why pity people would have a problem with. Like, I don't see what it's. They respect each other. They communicate. They talk through their feelings. There's no fucking horny shit other than the fact that the girl likes to dress as horny character.
Yeah, I guess people just can't get past that. I mean, it's not really like a story I'm too invested in, but it's like it's a fine story. It's not really. I don't think it's as like as like. I guess people are just like. For me, like it just there's such a subset of anime and weebs that are just freaking like so like into the degenerate stuff. They just see anything slightly degenerate and they're like, oh, it's for them. It's just to pander to their fantasy. I mean, you can still tell a good story. Like one bad eggs don't ruin the other like good people who are enjoying the show.
There is a large section of anime and manga people who are my taste must be the things I like must be perfect and pure, and any hint of anything other than that is wrong.
That's not even just anime and manga, that's just a general thing. I've seen that in like Western cartoons. Even like the most kids cartoons, freaking people go through that shit.
But here's the thing, there's so much anime and manga targeted towards late teenagers and adults that will deal with adult subjects that people just get bent out of shape of like, why are there tits in here? I don't know, Janine. It's made for 20-year-old dudes who like tits.
It's a whole like that's a whole other discussion of like freaking like what.
Oh yeah, that's my biggest complaint about One Piece fans. Though it's like, oh, why are so many women just big booby people? Because it's a manga written for teenage boys. And teenage boys like boobies.
Still like critique the character design, but like I don't think you should like
But here's the thing: you can critique the character design, but if it's understood and intentional and like they know what the fuck they're doing, like Ichiro Oda goes like, yeah, no, I just want to draw beautiful women. He knows he's drawing beautiful women. Like that's not a complaint. It's just like that's part of the story.
Like, I feel like people just need to admit when they just personally like it's a taste thing. They don't need to be like, oh, this is objective. Like just freaking subjectively is beautiful. And that's
as a phrase I've been hearing a lot more recently. Don't ick someone else's yum.
Or just like be open to just being like subjective. It's like, I don't personally dig with this. This isn't like a story element I dig. You know what I mean? Like it's like we mag on Vac, but like he's had his subjective reasons for not getting into One Piece, and that's perfectly fine.
I think they're dumb. I think his subjective reasons are dumb. No, because here's the thing. He likes Owl House. He likes Amphibia. Those art styles are just as cartoony as One Piece.
Fair, like on that end. But like
it's like, oh, the art is bad. Then bitch, half the shit you like is art's bad.
Anyway, well, enough nagging on Vac before he cancels us on Twitter.com. But yeah, that's the Mangacast, everybody.
Oh, Vac can never cancel us. We can cancel him long before.
Pull up his phone and freaking look at his Google history. Freaking like, oh.
Yeah, no, hey, this has been our manga of the year, the manga that we like. Know what? We're gonna put a list of the titles in the description of every one that we mentioned, so you can go and look for them yourselves. A lot of them aren't officially translated, so you will have to sail the seven seas for them. Like Luffy.
Who doesn't want to be like Luffy? Okay.
Our Arrow Ace Key. But hey, why don't you tell the people where they can find you, Buster?
True Buster. If you like manga, I sometimes talk about it. I talked about Chainsaw Man. I talked about the canceled Shonen Jump classic Zip Man. It's not really a classic, but just let me have this, damn it. But I talked about the freaking artist who did a lot of the One Piece film Red themes. I talk about Tokusatsu. I even have a video about Goodbye Eri coming out. Is this coming out in December or coming out in January? Well, soon. You'll see it soon. So go subscribe and watch the thingy. Have fun, you know? You can also follow me on Tumblr and Twitter and ask me stuff. Yeah, freaking hit me on the street. No, don't actually.
Hey, I'm Boingo. Would you like to see a variety of videos and video essays and editorials and all that kind of shit? Go to Boingo Writer on YouTube. Would you like to see a variety of streams? Twitch.tv/Boingo Writer. Hey, do you want to see me on a variety of other social media platforms? At Boingo_writer on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, so long as Twitter still exists. And Boingo-writer on Tumblr. What else? Hey, give this a like, give this a comment, subscribe to Modular Media. See this and many other podcasts, including Components, where we just
Yeah, it's like
bullshit
this,
around
but
and
not about
hang out for a
manga.
little. We also have No Price Podcast, where me and Vac talk about American
And
comic
we have
books
the freaking
and the
like,
news.
on my end, we have Twit This Week in Toku, where me and Vac talk about tokusatsu, like Japanese superheroes. So that's pretty.
So yeah, give Modular Media a subscribe. And until then, do you have anything else you want to say, Buster?
One Piece.
Sure.